What is up, YouTube? And it is a big video today. For the next hour, quite a long time, because I'm going to be pausing and stuff a lot. We are going to be watching an uncut, this is an uncut YouTube video, everything. We are going to be watching Scyans. The 8-year Fortnite story is finally solved. It's Geno. He has put a lot of focus into this video. It's taken him weeks, months even, to make this video about Geno. So we're going to be pausing, unpausing, we're going to talk a lot. I've got a lot of snacks on the way, so sorry if you hear me chewing. And we're going to be here for the next few hours. So sit back, relax, and shout out to Cyan for this amazing video.
When I tell you in the title of this video that I'm gonna explode your mind, that's right, I'm gonna explode your mind! And I'm not even exaggerating right now, so get ready before it's too late. Because today we're gonna talk about the biggest, the coolest, and the greatest Fortnite lore theories that have ever touched YouTube or the game itself. We're gonna talk about a silly man named Geno who already made your mind go kaboom in the last live event with giving Jones a silly kiss. Then revealing how he was visitor all along. But now wait a second, listen to what Jones has to say in this very moment.
Geno? It's been you all along?
Now compare that sign to what Jones was told years ago during Chapter 3 Season 2.
This whole total destruction thing just doesn't feel like Sloane to me. She does whatever it takes to win, but she's not a monster.
Sloane's never been in charge. Geno. It's always been Geno.
That's right, this whole video exists to prove you how it's Geno. It's always been Geno. Right from the day he faked his death onto why we even ended up on Chapter 5, a Greek world. Then why Dr. Doom showed up out of nowhere who used to talk with the very Geno himself. How the entirety of Chapter 6 was manipulated and planned by Geno. Then finally how every single thing we have experienced in the Fortnite storyline so far is all coming together within Chapter 7 itself. To not only reveal how it's always been Geno, but also finish the many years long plan of his. So this video will also reveal what exactly is this plan of Geno. Buckle up my boys, because as I said, this is gonna be the coolest Fortnite video you have seen in a really long time. Let's begin the show by first explaining what Geno as a character is meant to be. Geno's story began as an immortal king of the Earthbound who was so powerful to the point that he became known to be the undefeated champion, as Omega still to this day is trying to take the guy down and win in a fight.
When I was young, I built my dreams with my bare hands.
This young kid...
I told you. You know, I don't know if he's going to say this, so I might just be like, saying this for the sake of it. But Ageless is like, we're seeing the origins of Geno, I think. From the Ageless is what I think. And I got a load of hate for that online for saying that. And I wouldn't shut the fuck up about the family tree, and yeah, I went a bit too far on it, but yeah.
found access to a material called the refined kinetic ore, as through it he managed to travel among universes, exploring many of these realities and meeting a lot of new powerful people in them, while finally ending up on Reality Zero, a safe home of 0 Point. Then together with many people Geno met from the other realities, he created the Imagine Order. As they researched this magical world, the loop of Battle Royale itself, and finally found the 0 Point vault, activating all of the 5 keys to reveal the most powerful relic of all, Nexus of the Omniverse, while every single reality and universe is connected to, and what's said to be the balance of everything and nothing, so darkness and light, or the power of creation and destruction. Seeing such a power makes Geno imagine a world of perfect order where all of these realities are safer, more fun to live in, and protected from danger. So he creates a new faction based on this dream, which turns to be the Imagine Order. This faction is supposed to be a mix of the powerful people from many realities that Geno got to explore, which is exactly why an inner circle was formed within it, probably a group of higher ups that represent the most powerful people from those realities.
I think Stone Singularity are confirmed to be in it this season.
Like Midas. While it's also built from the core structure of the Earthbound Kingdom, so all of the people who join this faction have to make an oath to be loyal and do no matter what for the cause.
You took an oath.
The Io and Geno used to be a really good thing. They protected realities for thousands of years, made many universes safer to live within, and every person in Io saw themselves as heroes doing the right thing. But to protect realities, Geno had to study the greatest threat out there, which is the last reality. They worship a god named the Nothing, who is represented by a single everything-seeing eye. There is nothing you can hide from him. Yet, the more Geno had to learn of the Nothing, the more he became just like it, evolving himself into the most powerful person to ever exist. So damn strong, to the point that he destroyed the best Iron Man suit in a single second. Then Iron Man right away called him a Thanos-level threat, just to give us a hint to how scary this guy is. Geno even managed to easily fight his two daughters, who are shown to be as strong as Captain Marvel and Wolverine, all of them at the same time. While even at his weakest state, the Foundation, who went toe-to-toe with the Ice King, was still horrified of him. But even after all of that, we're said to have been shown only like tiny bit of the things that Geno can actually do, so he's really scary. Not just power-wise, Geno also grew more controlling over his faction and realities after studying the Nothing, even gaining a somewhat ghost-like form he can turn into, known to be the Shapeless Man, while also forcing the Io to basically worship him like a god, exactly what the Nothing does to the last reality. All of this began the whole reason why the Imagine Order started losing its path and became more of a villain faction itself. So right from then, many Imagine Order members one by one started leaving to create a rebel group for destroying it. This group was named the Seven, and it contained the super soldier of Io who founded and created this faction. Then we have Paradigm, Scientist, Visitor, also Imagine and Order, who are Geno's own daughters, and finally Origin. This one is a former king of the last reality who joined the faction to help for destroying both the Io and the last reality together. But daughters of Geno? Why would they be here? Well, becoming more like the Nothing and getting addicted to the idea of perfection and order made Geno do a lot of things that he regrets now. The biggest one being his own daughters, who genetically evolved them since birth to be just like him and just as powerful. Yet one day, the daughters were challenged to escape the 4-day Battle Royale loop before a set of time. So they did get the Victory Royale and escape, but much later than Geno was expecting. This made the guy realize what a horrible father he has been, training his daughters like weapons rather than giving them an actual life to live. So he replaces them with a snapshot or a clone of the sisters instead, who he is fine with abusing them as weapons. Because in the Fortnite lore, people are kind of racist to snapshots because they're seen as less important than the originals. I don't know why, but yeah. As the originals,
He isn't wrong, to be fair. Like, yeah.
sisters get their memories wiped out, especially regarding everything to do with Geno, which is
What I don't get is how they know that Geno's the father now.
their father. Then after, they get sent to a universe far away from him. But later on, it gets revealed how Geno was actually trying to free his daughters from himself, to let them build an actual happy life without any of the influence of their father in it, exactly why he had to wipe their memories out too. Geno basically sees himself as a failed dad, but the tragic part of all of this is, while one of the daughters was mostly fine with not remembering her dad and tried to build a new life, the other, Imagined, wanted to take revenge on her father, especially after gaining her memories and realizing that their dad just threw them away. But all of that ended with exactly what Geno tried to avoid, which was his daughters being hurt or in pain because of his influence. We will also see more examples of how much he loves his daughters later on too, but he's not really willing to give up on the dream of the perfect order for them, at least for now. Even more Io members begin quitting the faction and fighting against it, some of which are Singularity, Midas, who created the fake Ghost vs Shadow War, splitting the Io members into two groups and using this as a chance to sabotage and take over Io himself, replacing Geno. But his plan failed and all
I made a stupid theory as well, that Midas and Geno were brothers.
of his family had to quit the Io instead. Later on, Jones quit the faction as well when he realized that it's not really about saving lives anymore, choosing to help the rebels, who are the Seven instead, a faction that used to be run by reusing Imagine Order's own tech and scraps, until they got big enough to create their own full new technologies. Even Dr. Stone herself quits the faction when she gets the chance, because more than anyone else she was getting manipulated and used by Geno. She was a nerd who joined the Io at a really young age, showing off her knowledge and her big brain, learning karate and impressing Geno himself to the point that he personally promoted her rank to become the leader of the Breach faction within Io. Dr. Stone's whole goal is to learn all the cool knowledge there is about the Zero Point and the Omniverse itself, while using that knowledge to protect universe at all costs, which means that even if she has to do something that's morally bad for the sake of protecting reality, she would do it. Exactly why she betrayed us in the Skyfire event to just let us die. And why Geno likes her so much is because they have a really similar mindset, but Geno uses these ideas to manipulate Sloane, force her to do as he orders, like creating the Collider, which was a genocidal machine made to kill every living being on the island. So even if Dr. Stone is normally against that, he manipulated her to believe that it's needed to protect reality at all costs. That's why right when she was freed from Geno's manipulations, Stone said that she's done with the IO, she's over with it. But we all know that Geno is gonna definitely find a way to get her back into the IO, be like, no, I still need you, come back. All of these events in the story led into the very moment of collision, where the former IO members and such joined together for ending the order once and forever. As that's exactly when Geno was dealt with too, and we never got to see him for many years until a week ago he just jumped in out of nowhere. But what if Professor Lore told you right now that this silly guy, he actually was never gone? As Midas himself even likes to say, it would be unwise to assume that those who are unseen are absent. That's right, yeah, he's indeed talking about Geno, we're gonna get to that. But even this death of Geno was part of his plan. Geno watched his IO crumble and break apart as member after member leaving the IO to fight against it instead, as we saw betrayal after betrayal. While at the same time, every action which the Seven made in the story caused the IO's defense system against the last reality to just break apart and fail, making the last reality show up more and more to destroy us every single time the Seven played a part in the story. Something that almost got all of us killed, and now Geno is like, my workers don't really trust me anymore, and the Imagine Order is also falling apart because of the Seven. So you know what? Let's play this the smart way. He falls in the Zero Point with his daughter, calling in the Foundation to have a talk with him, and this talk is way more important than you think it is. He tells the Foundation how goal was to protect and perfect realities, but Foundation always hated how Geno did it, because it was being done in a morally bad way, at least to the Foundation. So Geno says that, sure my boy, I finally get to have a rest after working so hard, you're in charge now. Let's see how you're gonna protect realities instead of me by singing to the Zero Point lullabies. Let's see how that's gonna go. Which he does actually make fun of this recently in the new seasons too. That's kinda funny. We even get teasers again of how he loves his daughters a lot, telling us how he's doing the same thing that happened to himself to the Imagined as well. And same thing turned out to be faking his death. But all of this was a trap. Geno is the type of person who, while super strong, my man still likes to work in secret, unseen from the shadows. That's why it was so hard for the Foundation to find the guy, and why the Imagine Order lied to the lower rank members of the IO that Geno is actually Gunner, a fake boss, so the real one can be kept in secret, busy with manipulating everyone. Geno is just now planning to do this in a much bigger level, because just imagine how much easier it's gonna be for him to manipulate all of us if he thinks that the guy is dead, if he thinks that the guy doesn't even exist anymore. Exactly why he faked his death. Part 1 of this unseen manipulation plan was to humiliate the Seven, roast them, rip them apart so no one ever trusts the Seven again. And that's right there is exactly why Geno wanted to meet the Foundation to tell him these things. Because as Geno himself says too, he knew what was coming right when he's gone. And Geno exactly knew that the Seven would be destroyed in no time because of their own stupidity. Stupidity.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with micro...
Stupid! God damn it! The plan is to first off make people not trust the Seven with protecting the Omniverse by showing them do a terrible job with it and nearly letting everyone die. Then put a doubt in Foundation too, because it doesn't really feel like Geno wants the Foundation fully dead, even if they hate each other. More so, it feels like Geno wants to make the Foundation feel like a failed leader, a loser. Make Foundation think that Geno was right all along, so he joins back with the IO and together they fight the last reality. Yes, this is exactly why Geno created the the Ice King and Foundation fight, so the Foundation ruins his image as a leader and loses our trust for making horrible selfish choices. It's also exactly why Geno didn't fully kill the guy and only captured him, so he still has plans for the Foundation. I love this guy, he's a genius. But this faking his death to manipulate us in the shadows goes much deeper than just ruining the image of the Seven. We have reached the part of this video where I make your mind go boom! And show you how Geno was actually with us all along in every single chapter, from chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7, all of it. But first, subscribe to the channel of Professor Lore. I mean, who else is gonna make a video this crazy for you? No, who? Come on, man, please. And maybe if you wanna support the channel even more so I can make more videos like this, you can check out my memberships of YouTube. We got these people, these legends supporting the channel, becoming members of the channel. You could also do that. It helps me make it. Let's start with Chapter 4 Season 1 itself, the beginning of Order Restored. After Paradigm caused the Zero Fusion, 3 realities formed a new island to protect the 0 point. All of which seem to be super important to the origin of the biggest Fortnite characters. One of them is the Frozen Reality, home of the Ice King with the headquarters of the Reality Warriors. The other is an abandoned ancient jungle whose scientists and visionaries used to live within it. Also teased to be the exact home of the Cube family, like the Queen and the Origin, and said to have found a home among the stars, which is basically the Cube Cradle. And the most important reality we're shown is the All-Found and a snapshot of Geno named the Ageless ruling over it. So while Geno is too busy with the Imagine Order, his snapshot keeps his kingdom alive. The Ageless since day one reveals a long history between Geno and the Ice King, which we didn't really know of before. How members of the Frozen Reality hate Geno's kingdom and want to bury it under ice. Or how in the end of the story, Ageless killed every single one of them, going to explore the Frozen Reality to see what's going on. Which this very thing
Jesus Christ, Geno was brutal. I told you it was the origins of Geno.
should show us why Geno kept his identity hidden from the Ice King, even if he really wanted to meet the master of the Voyager.
Who is this master? When will I meet them?
Careful. The only one you need to care about is me.
Or why part of Geno's plan was to kill the Ice King, because these two kingdoms probably have been fighting for a really long time. But what if I told you that Ageless was not just left in the All-Found to keep the kingdom going? Rather, this guy is kind of a failsafe. Geno is a mastermind who would always have a plan for any situation. So he kept a snapshot of himself ready, just in case the Imagine Order falls. The snapshot can just cause everything to happen all over again, restoring the order, the Imagine Order, through this failsafe. Now things start to get interesting because Geno activates the failsafe by manipulating a person named Stellan to put Ageless on the path of basically going through everything that Geno experienced in his life. It's said that a shapeless man sent Rifford and Stellan to meet with the Ageless and create a Riftgate for him. A Varden who has no memories of his past except how centuries ago this very thing happened to him. A shapeless man manipulated him through the refined kinetic core of the All-Found, forcing him to follow the orders. Now it's all happening again, almost like Geno faked his death to begin
Told ya.
in a loop of everything happening all over again.
I long to tell the champion the truth of the shapeless man, but I cannot. I did not dream of him for centuries. Your refined kinetic ore returned him to me. When I was young, the shapeless man came to me in dreams, took me in as his own.
A shapeless man who's said to be watching universes fall in darkness, so we need to be quick for him. One who also does not care if his plan causes the map to get ripped into half.
He always said he imagined a world of perfect order. There is no room in a world like that for the likes of us. He does not care if opening the gate rents the island in two.
Which is exactly what happened right before the reveal of Geno, which is interesting, I would say. To learn about who this figure is who's hunting Stellan's dreams, he went to meet with the sages of the All-Found, which Geno exiled them in the past. Those sages are not really willing to talk to Stellan much, except saying this line to him.
A beautiful monster enabled by the hubris of a champion.
Champion is said to be Geno himself, while the beautiful monster who gets enabled is confirmed by Alexa to actually be Stellan himself. So it seems that Stellan has an evolved monster-like form that is needed in order to create the Imagine Order. That's why Stellan is seeing the Shapeless Man for the second time, because we already had an Imagine Order, but now we're trying to restore the order. Dr. Stone herself confirms this even more, saying how she knows what Stellan truly is, even if he doesn't remember himself, and she was the closest person to Geno, so knowing this information is really important. So now Stellan is forced by the Shapeless Man to build a Riftgate that was the very thing that allowed Geno to explore all of the realities. And now the clone of him, his snapshot, gets to go through the exact same life too. Using this Riftgate to become the ageless explorer, first of all exploring Ice King's frozen reality and gaining access to the icy secrets, showing even more how these two have a really long history together. So the Riftgate has activated the failsafe by making Ageless live the life that Geno went through, meaning that in the end of it he will create a new Imagine Order just like how Geno did. One which once ready, my man Geno is instantly gonna take over it. But a Riftgate that also created the first ever red rift we have ever seen inside of Fortnite. Yes, the very thing that corrupted the rocket of Geno, the very rift that was created inside of Fortnite OG, and the very red rift that Geno used to meet us with in chapter 7. So as I said again, Fortnite was not joking when they said that it's Geno. It's always been Geno. But one more thing happened with the Riftgate, and that was how Amy jumped into it hoping that she's gonna save the scientist. But we're gonna get to her, just wait. I'm really sus on you. The season after was all about distracting people so a jungle under the map can be revealed, the same place which Dr. Stone was stuck inside of it. She survived what the Seven did to her thanks to a man named Relic using the jungle's technologies to heal her. But interestingly, it's also said how a person left this map of the jungle's technologies right near Dr. Stone for her to pick it up. Almost like whoever put this device here, they wanted Dr. Stone to explore the jungle. A map that made Dr. Stone repair and fix the apparatus inside of the jungle. And that very thing warned Dr. Stone about the end of everything, how it's coming right after an unnatural eclipse. Probably because of the huge cube cradle blocking the sun when it's really close, explaining why it's said to be an unnatural eclipse. A discovery which through it Dr. Stone learned of how the key to our future lies within the past. So she was forced to steal Kado Thorne's time machine and try to save everyone by traveling onto the past. Yes, it seems that once again the person who saved us from the end of everything, just like always, was actually Geno himself, manipulating Stellan, Asus and Dr. Stone to put them in the right path for doing what's needed to be done. As what happens in Fortnite OG, even if confusing, is way more important than we thought it to be. What we were shown was that if you make changes to the past, it alters how the future goes too, based on the changes that you made. So like if you kill the Ice King, then there's gonna be no Ice King anymore in the future too. Or how the time machine was connected to the rocket, constantly shifting the rocket into many objects throughout the game's history, until it smacks right into the 0 point, causing the Nexus to be split into many pieces, while also now out of nowhere we have an OG road looking just basically exactly identical to chapter 1, a place that's said to be reality unknown, while chapter 4 also at first was said to be reality unknown, so who knows? Maybe the time machine caused only chapter 4 look-wise to shift back all the way to the beginning, so it being part of Geno's order restored the loop and how he will restore all of the anti-last reality defense systems which the Seven destroyed. This exactly being why OG plays out really different from what we remember. There was no the Seven in this one, rather Geno faked himself as the visitor. The rift was red and we got a red cube instead. It also showed up inside of the in-between, and the Ice King looked completely different from what we remember. Because this is the same Ice King who came to us in season 2, exactly why the first styles are identical basically. But also why the logo of Ice King in the castle is the exact same one as we see behind of the OG Ice King. And why after Fire King broke free from the Ice King again, he was frozen right after making the volcano this time. Then he was brought in with Ice King onto chapter 7. So we got Blackheart taking over the volcano instead and evolving into a molten pirate to keep the theme going. Actually Fire King, whose hybrids were taken by Geno in chapter 3, and there were hints to how Geno has plans for the Fire King in the recent live event. Also why Singularity is not inside of the OG past, because she is with us in chapter 7, so she would not be inside of the OG reality. Or the same thing goes for why the Devourer monster is revealed to look really different. That's actually identical to when Midas was dead inside of the Underworld, the way his soul and
Hades return, please. I actually beg, we need a Hades return.
everything looked inside of it. And if you remember, yes, we completely killed the monster. Geno was probably watching how Midas managed to break free out of the Underworld with his soul and grew a whole body on top of his soul to live as basically a living ghost. He's not really alive anymore, but he's like half alive, if you understand what I mean. Kind of like Kratos.
Unlike the two of you, I've never died.
So Geno now has taken the same skull of the monster inside of Ice King's castle, and he's experimenting on how to bring things back from the dead based on what he saw Midas go through, and to also make sure that the events of OG go as close to the original ones as possible, because I think that the government you see inside of OG, that's actually ageless. All of the talks about ageless being the failsafe to restore the Imagine Order, that's right. The ageless is almost at the end of this loop, which is exactly why if you look at the Oathbound, their design actually has evolved, and all of them look much more like actual Geno now. Because before Geno was manipulated, he had the white shining armor, everything was bright, but after he started to think about creating an Imagine Order, all of the corruptions he went through made his armor also evolve from the white bright shining into a much more darker armor. So Ageless is here creating the government and exploring the original map.
Nah, that's actually really cool. I'm so happy the Ageless is like relevant to the story. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like it's so cool, man. Peak.
While after he gets his hands on the 0 points, the Imagine Order is finally reborn. This means that the OG game mode is either actually Reality Zero turned into this because of the Big Bang Live event, or it's a simulation by Geno made for the Ageless. Now thanks to the Big Bang, people of Chapter 4 including Jones are thrown to many random realities, that being exactly why we suddenly got a Lego, racing, festival and so on. But the most important reality which many of us like Lynx and Jones fell into was a Greek mythology inspired world that was the Chapter 5. And many of you are gonna be like, Science, what did this have to do with Geno? My poor clueless son, that's exactly why you need the Professor Lore. Without me, you're clueless, you have no idea what's even going on, but Professor Lore comes here, your savior is here! But if you want me to save you, you first of all gotta subscribe to the channel and maybe check out the memberships for the channel. The absolute legends like these ones by becoming a member of. Now let the cooking begin. Valeria was originally designed to look identical to Geno but female, as the very faction she was working on was called the Society, made to create a perfect society through relics of the Greek gods, which is a really similar idea to Geno himself, studying the Omniverse just like him too. A person that I think Geno is really interested in, and he believes she will be a very valuable asset to the new Imagine Order. Someone who has an extremely similar mindset to Geno himself, and if you don't believe me, how dare you don't believe in the Professor Lore? I'm gonna beat you! Just wait for when Valeria returns to the story, there is even a teaser for it right now. Or even Montague, he is said to be working with Midas in secret, a plan that Midas is not willing to let anyone know what exactly it is. While Midas was the very person to hint at how the unseen thought to be Geno is present right near us without anyone.
You already know Midas is returning, like it's inevitable. And also fucking Montag, how would you say it? Montanu? I fuck knows what he said. Montag, Valeria, Society is returning.
No way. And now the most important Geno related thing which happens in this chapter was right before the release of Pandora's box. And oh boy, you need to pay attention to Pandora's box a lot more, especially in this season. I'm gonna explain exactly why in the end of the video, so keep watching. A person travels onto the island who we have never seen before, named the Odyssey, because she feels a familiar manipulation happening on this place. That person is wearing an Oathbound Royal's armor while having a fighting helmet just like Geno's do.
Wait.
Then she is said to be an explorer or a traveler. So based on all of the information we have, it seems that Odyssey should be the sister of Geno, who left the Oathbound to explore the world probably because she did not agree with the actions of her brother. She even has a single hairline in a different color, just like what we see on the young Geno. Isn't it interesting how the sister of Geno has showed up out of nowhere and she's really sus on the people who are hunting down Pandora's box? Almost like she knows her brother is up to something. Pandora's box was revealed and opened by Valeria as it caused Greek gods to release from it, closing the box again. Then those same gods fighting and destroying the society as a whole. But for some reason, Fortnite kept every single member alive, especially
Oh my god.
Valeria and Montague.
Montague. Okay. Oh, this is so cool.
I wonder why! Then we also defeated Zeus, nearly killing him as we made the guy lose his kingdom or everything he used to have. A fallen king just like Midas used to be, but again, Fortnite decided that you know what, let a doctor save his life. Okay, that's also really sus, but it gets even worse. Because we have yet another season with a new villain. Last time the main villain was super similar to Geno himself and was kept alive while losing everything. The season after we have a Greek mythology person who is modernized with a Fortnite take on them. Yes, just like Midas, who also lost everything but was kept alive. Now this is the third season of chapter 5. This time we have a man named Megalodon who is extremely similar to Gunner, the same boy who got killed by Dr. Doom. And this is really ironic because Megalodon also was betrayed by Doom in this season. But this time again, Megalo was not killed, only betrayed, losing everything he used to have, so going into hiding. We got one villain who's just like Geno, another who's similar to Midas, and the third one similar to Gun.
Wait. He's onto something. He's actually onto something. What the fuck?
Gunner. All of which lost everything but were kept alive for future story. And
Wait.
to Gunner. All of which lost everything but were
I'm sorry. I can't let this go. He spelled Zeus wrong, but it's fine.
were kept alive for future story. And every single one of these happened right after a Geno-like person showed up, so I wonder why. Ooh. Then to make it even crazier, Dr. Doom was the villain of the final chapter 5 season. And this is just huge support to how I'm saying that every single one of these villains are actually connected to Geno. Or more so they will be in the future by restoring the order. Because if you don't remember, in the Fortnite comics, Geno personally called Dr. Doom to invite him for becoming part of
Yep. Yeah, it's true. It's happening.
the Imagine Order's inner circle, those being the main leaders of the faction that back then they might have been Geno, Dr. Stone, Midas, Gunner, Singularity, and maybe Foundation before he betrayed them. So my boy, or girl, or I don't know, whatever, do you see where I'm going with this? I think the reason why Dr. Doom was chosen as the final villain of this chapter was because of
Finn, I'm trying to record. In an hour.
Geno himself. It was to kind of show you how Geno is watching us through the shadows. More so how he is searching through the most powerful people out there to see which ones would make a great choice for a new inner circle made for the restored order. King of the Greek gods that I believe was given a military who's basically just like him, or the king of the Greek gods that I believe was given a military theme so he fits into the Imagine Order whenever he joins in. And since Dr. Doom basically killed Gunner, a replacement general for Geno's military army, that being this Megalodon. While
This is like sick, man.
Geno is also thinking of using their special features.
There you go. Oh my fucking god.
Like Nitro, medallions, god powers to make the new Imagine Order much more powerful than it used to be. And if you remember, Geno told Dr. Doom to steal some of Ice King's weapons and bring them to him, which the guy did steal but took them into his own castle instead. All of this kind of showing us more connections between Geno and the Ice King that makes the story of the showdown even more interesting. While also it shows how Geno got some unfinished business with Dr. Doom to deal with, especially since Dr. Doom still has Pandora's box energy with him left out there to be used. So keep that in mind, because in the end of this video I'm gonna show you a theory about like the Pandora's box, how not only it's gonna come back really soon, it's gonna be really important to the story, but not come back, it's actually already here and you have no idea because you're not Professor Lore. I am Professor Lore, so I'm gonna teach you. You better be listening, I'm gonna— But the inner circle idea—
That just looks sick. Like, he's actually smart. What the hell?
doesn't end here. We are now on chapter 6 and right away I smell another possible member that Geno is interested in. One that especially makes me really confident in this whole theory. We got Daigo, who's said to be the descendant of a family that created all of the magical masks. Some of them are like the iconic Fox Clan mask or the demonic ones or just many different versions of powerful masks. It's said that his family line wanted to create new, much stronger masks using darkness as power source for them. And they did manage to do it, but it caused demons to find their way onto Reality 783, cursing and nearly destroying the whole thing. So everyone here, especially the River Guardians, had to kill all of the mask users like Fox Clan, then destroy the power mask and banish the demons to the spirit realm. Yet it's really funny how everything I just talked about happened all over again in Chapter 6. The demons are back, the powerful masks are also back again as we got cursed reality-like creatures to kill. Something that also was confirmed to have happened before too, because OXR was a retired faction who had to get back into business because chapter 6 caused everything to happen again. So they used to be these creatures on the island, OXR killed all of them, but now the creatures are back, so OXR needs to come back with them too. But oh wait, almost like what I was talking about was actually true. The failsafe was ageless. Geno activated it using the Rift Gate and now everything is looping to happen all over again. All the events which created the Imagine Order, so Geno restores a new Imagine Order within chapter 8. Now the guy behind why all of this happened was Daigo himself, who interestingly right when we came here, he managed to learn how to make those same super powerful demonic masks that his ancestors used to create. The way to reach it was by kidnapping sprites and extracting darkness magic through them. Sounds really similar to what Geno is forcing us to do right now in this very season. I wonder why. Daigo then became a villain because of his own terrible choices, but then he was defeated. Yet just like all the other villains from chapter 5, he also was not killed. Rather again lost everything to the point that he had to leave his Reality 783 out of embarrassment. My boy has lost everything just like Valeria, Zeus, Megalodon and so on. But he is also somewhat proof of the fury I feel.
What about Fletcher Kane? We've still got that wolf guy.
Talking about. Not only the guy joins the elites who are said to be former members of the Imagine Order, not only the Colosseum is using the very colors of Geno himself and his symbol, showing us how the loop is about to end and Ageless really soon is reaching the point of creating the new Imagine Order. So the government in OG should be his, that Geno will take over it soon. But also when Daigo talks to the Order, she says how you remind me of my father, or hope teasing how Daigo will probably cause new trouble soon. But this time right here is everything I've been saying. Geno is watching the people who are really similar to him as possible choices for new Inner Circle members or replacements for the lost ones who quit or betrayed him. And the line you see here is the exact proof for that theory. So the new Inner Circle should have Valeria, Montague, Zeus, Megalodon and Daigo as some of its members. Then another big hint to proving this is how all of these villains were connected onto a former Imagine Order member in their season. Valeria kidnapped Pili to manipulate and study Jones, a former IO member. Zeus and Hades had Midas locked up in a special death cell. Megalodon, if you remember, came in with Chaos Agent in his hand. As finally Daigo had Core, a former IO spy working for him in season 3. All of that was a hint
Oh my god.
to show how these guys are gonna connect onto Geno really soon. While some members of the past IO like Zadie might join in too, since Geno is going around talking to his former members, checking to see if they are worthy to join the new order once it's ready. And that's exactly why he questions Singularity's loyalty in this season so much, but she disappointed him.
I was unsure about inviting a member of the Imagined Order to assist us. I would hate for your loyalties to be split.
Trust me, I carry no love and no loyalty to the Imagined Order. They buried themselves under Geno's hubris. I've moved on.
I see.
It's also why he says this to Dr. Son, but more important than her is actually Midas. Yeah, him betraying Geno probably has the guy mad, but Midas is extremely important because of how he basically has infinite money. He used to even own all of the gold in the Imagine Order. All of the gold you remember in chapter 2, it was confirmed to be all of it owned by Midas. So if this guy is not inside of the IO, they're poor. They don't have money. He is their money. While also chapter 6 proved how Midas powers is not just gold. This actually has a really magical importance to it connected to the spirit realm. So I definitely think that Geno wants Midas back there. And we got lots of hints regarding this, from how Midas was the same guy who told us how those who are unseen are not absent, as he was also said to be working on a new way to access the in-between or the 0 point vault. And while to hope they were doing this for protecting the 0 point shard, Midas reveals how he has his own secret reasons for doing this, reasons that Montague plays a part in it too. The same guy who also said that he's probably gonna join in the new Imagine Order as well, and you see probably where I'm going with this, right? Geno and Midas will soon work together again, as Geno uses what Midas has learned to create a new vault for the 0 point, or use the same OG one thanks to Midas, or create a new version of the breach. But things get even crazier because it's not just the characters Geno is watching. He's actually behind everything we went through since the failsafe got activated. The proof of that comes right in the end of chapter 6 with a person watching all of Fortnite's history, especially the ones which happened in chapter 4, 5 and 6. Then for some reason Geno's eyes glowing extra yellow in this recap, but this originally did not really happen, so smells like a hint to me. As right in the end,
Fucking hell.
final thing which happened being Dark presence. But now this video glitches and a secret redacted message gets revealed, like the description of Dr. Stone, same for Dark Voyager, and links too, all of which were close workers of Geno himself. But the message unredacts most of itself to reveal what's said, and right after, Dark Voyager shows up, who's confirmed to be working for Geno, meaning that this message was sent from Geno to Dark Voyager for ending the phase 1 of his plan, also beginning the phase 2, the name of it still being redacted. And so the glitching screen effects we have been watching to happen is basically confirmed to be connected to Geno too. From this message glitching to the screen glitching every time Geno is watching the Dark Voyager, to the Dark Voyager himself heavily glitching too, to Area 07 that used to be owned by Geno, it also has a really weird glitchy effect in the center of it, onto the screens which Voyager watches everything from, also glitching a lot too. Then finally, the true reveal to confirm that Geno was behind the screen glitches being in the end of this season's trailer. We get to see Visitor's Visor glitch while turning on, as then the screen glitches itself yet again to reveal how it was Geno all along. But Cyan, isn't glitching screens or TVs or seeing everything supposed to be a the nothing thing, a less reality thing? Well yes, you're actually right. But so was the Chrome, yet the Imagine Order was using another version of it called the Chromia, or the Spirit Realm was confirmed to be controlled by the last reality, yet the Imagine Order also had scrolls or relics that allowed them to still connect onto the Spirit Realm. And the same thing with the cubes, Geno took them and managed to create his own version of it, which is the red cubes. Or even making this mini version of the cube cradle. Or the Dark Voyager himself, the guy was confirmed to be part of the void of the nothing, as the ideology of his and how he worships the nothing in this location pretty much shows that too. Even his entire crew that's confirmed to be loyal to the guy for eons. They all are said to be from the void as well, worshipping the Voyager and the nothing, with many references to the Eye of the Nothing too, explaining exactly why every former IO member called the person a last reality person, and they had no idea he was working for the Geno.
The place is crawling with thugs working for the Dark Voyager. He's connected to the last reality.
Dark Voyager's strong. Good. Makes cutting him down even sweeter. He'll be one less servant of the last reality.
Because they have seen the guy Voyager before, they know he's from the void or the last reality. He was never part of the Imagine Order. And that's why everybody in this season, in the last season or the one before it, were saying that Dark Voyager has to be a last reality member.
I didn't even twig onto that, like, no one knows Geno's alive. It's mad.
So him working for Geno should be a really new thing that happened after the IO fell. It happened because I believe he should be the same Voyager that touched the 0 point in the comics and was torn into pieces, just exactly like how Geno was in the comics too. So I really think that Geno saved the Voyager just like how he did to himself too, using that to manipulate and abuse the Voyager for his personal goals, and then promised the Voyager to make him a true god, exactly what happened in the last season. So the Voyager becomes obsessed and loyal to Geno, basically betraying his actual master. Which means that yes, Geno is only abusing the Voyager, so once the time comes, he knows that the Voyager needs to die since his last reality. Exactly why Daigo tells the Voyager this line, hinting at how Geno will betray the Voyager, just like how Daigo's master did in chapter 6 to him. So exactly, yeah, why we're now seeing glitching effects be connected to Geno instead of the Nothing is because the guy has been carefully watching and learning from the Nothing, trying to create his own versions of the weapons or the powers that the Nothing has. Because there is a really popular saying of how to defeat a powerful monster, you need to make another monster. Geno is making himself into a new monster similar to the Nothing, so he actually has a chance in fighting the Nothing, as that's exactly why Geno is growing into a villain himself too. Because the guy was genuinely a hero back then, protecting all of us, but trying to fight and destroy the last reality is basically ruining him in the process. The only hope we have for that to stop is the love he has for his daughters, but I don't really think that's gonna work. Because for now, Geno is not really willing to give up on his imagination of a world of perfect order. So now that we know this message was sent by Geno and the Dark Voyager is a last reality member being abused and manipulated by the guy, this just makes total sense of why the message was sent in cube language. Because that's supposed to be the language that on chapter 7 map only the Voyager can understand. Jones, the Seven or Jules, any of them, if they get access to the Dark Harvester and see this message, they're gonna have no idea what it's even saying. Because the message is supposed to be redacted and only read by the Dark Voyager, as what's said in it makes a lot of sense now too. Training 1 complete. Geno was the guy who has been training people through the loop to become perfect and much more powerful. Total elapsed time in base reality 8 years, 9 weeks, 3 days, 9 hours and 30 minutes. This is exactly how long it's been since the release of the Battle Royale, or ever since Geno began controlling the loop of Fortnite. Total simulated time across all iterations. Then we got weird lines ending with the years. I don't know math, I'm not a nerd, what the hell is this? This one is speaking of the loop simulation, that as we know, multiple loops can happen at the exact same time, which is why it says total simulated time across all iterations. As the fun part begins right here, learning phase complete, meaning that in all of these 8 years, Geno was still trying to learn every single detail about the 0 point. So every single power it has and what it can do, exactly why he could reforge his body through the 0 point. Then wanting to see what happens when you rip the 0 point into many pieces. Finally ending with Dark Presence, watching and learning how powerful a living creature can get if it bonds with only a piece of the 0 point. As if you look closely, the placement of the 0 point chart on Dark Presence is identical to what you now see on the Dark Voyager, except with the cubes, proving how Geno was carefully watching and learning from everything that happened, and now he's putting it into use. So maybe just like the Dark Presence, he wants to fuse himself and become one with the 0 point. That would be really cool. It would also make him finally powerful enough to fight the Nothing as well. Then we're told how Geno is decommissioning Error Check Protocol, the Dark Presence, proving how Geno was indeed behind how we managed to kill the Dark Presence too. Because the guy was just there to show Geno how powerful a piece of the 0 points can make you. And with watching how he was soloing the entire multiverse, he was destroying Godzilla or the monkey or the Miko Miko Mi or I don't know the other things. He was destroying everything. So Geno was like, damn! You know what? I gotta fuse myself with the 0 points. That's gonna go hot. God damn. So my man was satisfied and the use for Dark Presence was over. It was time to kill him. The exact same thing that's gonna happen to the—
I'm sorry, was that Superman and Batman?
the Dark Voyager as well. Decommissioning Anomaly Containment Protocol. This line also confirms how the whole creation of the red cube, it's being sent inside of the in-between. That was all Geno preparing a tool for containing and killing the anomaly, or so this creature, after the experiment is over. So yes, everything, every single thing we have experienced from chapter 4, 5, 6 and now even this one, it was all Geno paving the path that we followed right into his trap. This man, my boy Geno, is an actual actual generational villain. Like, goddamn. Finally, in the end of this redacted message, Geno tells Voyager beginning phase 2. Executing program, and the rest of this message is still redacted. That being exactly when Voyager, who used to manipulate the OG reality in secret, finally reveals himself to us. Because his master Geno has begun phase 2. Right from here, we already get some hints to who his master is. From the teaser of chapter 7 being the 7 logo in black and gold colors, which are the colors of Geno, to how even in OG, Visitor was telling us he fondly remembers all of these locations in chapter 1. Onto a red butterfly cursing Visitor's rocket before takeoff, creating a new red rift in chapter 7 on his arrival. Reminding me of the first time we saw a red rift, that was chapter 4. Maybe the shapeless man is also Geno too. Ooh, wow. Or Voyager telling us how the Order is the most important 7 member to him. I wonder why. Even once he captured her, rather than killing the Order to be done with it, Voyager kept her alive in a prison. Or the fact that he never shot the Voyager's rockets, destroying and killing him on arrival. Then we also had the Order saying how Visitor is not really like the one she remembers.
Visitor, you're different. I remember you being taller.
We originate from different realities, perhaps even divergent timelines.
My friends and I could really use your help.
No matter where or when we come from, the 7 stand together.
You need to stay away from the Dark Voyager. That's an order.
What makes you think I take orders from you?
I stalked the Voyager through the husks of burnt-out stars and the ashes of crumbling realities. If you were easily dealt with, don't you think I would have done that by now?
We've only just met, so I don't really know what you're capable of.
You've become reckless like your sister. Did you learn nothing from losing her?
I learned one thing. It's better to be reckless than timid when everything is on the line.
You need to speak to the Order. She's stubbornly pursuing the Dark Voyager alone. In my reality, her sister was the impetuous one.
You know, if you're so concerned, Viz, you could join me.
Or her telling us how Visitor feels like the evil twin of the one she remembers. Visitor even being extremely protective towards the Order, telling her not to fight the Voyager and stand back. Oh, I don't know, maybe because Voyager also works for him, and maybe because Order is his own daughter. So the guy just doesn't want his own daughter to get killed by this. Even a reference was made to the comics of Dr. Son saying how Geno is a really busy man. The guy is so busy that Visitor forces us to hunt down and bring him food. He sends you like an Uber driver or something to get him food. And the final teaser before the reveal of everything was Geno's logo and the voice actor of Visitor. Now a secret message sent by Dark Voyager's master is said to be rebuild the 0 point. So he does that, taking over the Inno Loop lab that has a teleporting underground area really similar to what we see in the abandoned base of IO in reality 337 using Geno's rift gates too. Yeah, so basically the videos I used to make in season 1 of the chapter, they're actually right. The chapter 7 map or reality 266 is a place that Geno used to come to a lot. And Area 07 is also his base that the guy used in the past to study the nothing on it. Exactly why the Order on arrival to this reality call it really familiar to her.
This reality feels familiar in so many ways, yet something's not quite right.
Because her and Geno, before everything got ruined among them, used to come to this place a lot. Now the Voyager uses his mini cube cradle to charge up these 3 shards, so they call in the rest of the 0 point pieces, rifting them into. But in the middle of it, we're shown how this ship's technology uses similar tech to the Imagine Order. Even the exact same writing language that the IO invented too, as the 3 0 point chunks are now in with pieces of their realities. And would you look at that? The same king I've been saying he got a long history with Geno, he's now on chapter 7 too, with a big chunk of his collection. From here, Geno pulls off a crazy trick to manipulate both of his rivals. The Voyager is tasked to manipulate and use the Ice King, promising the guy of giving him back Foundation as a collection. Also to then after help the Ice King with restoring the elemental balance to the Omniverse. While Geno himself will be doing the same to the 7 side, manipulating them to keep making the wrong choices. And have this Foundation versus the Ice King war going for a really long time. So no one bothers the Dark Voyager on him trying to rebuild the 0 points because the final shard didn't make it into the island. Since the elites were keeping it hidden, so he had to go around searching to find and bring it in too. But once that's over, he goes to the elite space, he gets the final 0 point shard and brings it into the island. Interestingly, he goes back to the OG reality again to see the progress on the OG vault being revealed, showing how that thing, the vault and what's inside of it, is also part of Geno's plan, which gives me a lot of Midas vibes. Like, remember what Midas did? Midas, you gotta be coming back. There is no way my dad come back, please. please! While that's happening, we learn of the real reason why Geno wanted the fake war to be around this still. Not only he has been wanting to steal all of Ice King's collections, but also again, these two kingdoms have been at war for a really long time. So Geno probably wants the Ice King to die, especially to steal all of his power after, since he is by far the strongest non-last reality character inside of Fortnite. This war makes the Ice King grow arrogant and lose his path for everything he stands for. So basically a way to ruin the Ice King and make him fall right into Geno's trap. But the real plan was for the Foundation. I already told you how these two used to work together in the Imagine Order, but the Foundation started seeing Geno change, feeling betrayed by him because of it, so he created the Seven to destroy Geno. That's being exactly why Foundation reveals his face to Dr. Stone and she responds with this.
I got over it.
But I really feel like for old time's sakes, or for the fact that Foundation is basically a perfect person just like him, Geno really wants the Foundation to stay alive but instead change sides and join him instead. Yet to reach that he needs to humiliate the Foundation and ruin him as a leader and everything he stands for. That's exactly what happens within chapter 3 when Geno tells the Foundation, "You're the leader now, let's see how you're gonna save the world." But Foundation got humiliated and failed all of us, and all of us were about to die. You're stupid! Now it's happening all over again. Visitor says that Foundation, you're the real hero. Go out there, make the right choice. All of us have to follow behind the Foundation. But behind the scene, Geno is manipulating the Foundation to make mistakes, and that causes all of his allies to begin doubting him, saying how the Foundation is being a really bad leader in this season, or even Singularity is saying this about the Foundation.
The Seven may also have a stubborn, dangerous leader.
Worrying people that we're gonna lose to the Voyager, and that's all exactly happens. Everything goes according to Geno's plan. He forces the Foundation not to let the Order join this fight. And that's because Geno's own daughter needs to stay safe from this plan. Then he has a pistol ready on the table for something to come, as he gives the Foundation this weapon that was supposed to break the Dark Harvester's shield and make it vulnerable. But instead the weapon weakens Foundation's suit, and the plan here was to shock and malfunction the suit so he can't fight anymore. So the guy, my boy Foundation, comes up with plan B, and when Geno hears that there is a plan B, his reaction to the fact that there is a plan B is so funny. Just watch this.
Time for plan B. Plan B.
Oh my gosh.
My boy really for a second thought like, oh shit, oh no. Plan B is to throw the whole gun at the Dark Harvester, and it works because it breaks the shield. Even then, from here, Geno humiliates both of his biggest rivals right in front of us. The Ice King is being arrogant, using his sword and causing a lot of destruction, not caring if it harms the 0 point or if people are gonna die to his blade. While the Foundation's humiliation is him using the 0 point to beat up the Ice King instead of protecting people and not caring about anything but petty revenge. And again, everything is going according to plan, so the Ice King is finally killed and the kingdom's war after thousands of years is over, while the Foundation loses. He fails as a leader, losing people's trust and basically ruining his image in front of everyone, but kept alive interestingly and not killed. Cause again, I really feel like these humiliations are to force the Foundation to accept that Geno is right. Geno is just hoping that he doesn't have to fully kill the Foundation, at least for now. Now the Voyager is the first villain in a really long time to actually win, restoring the elemental balance as he promised to the Ice King, and interestingly the camera moving towards the Fire King, hinting at how Geno probably has a lot of plans for this guy. Someone who has a similar mindset to Geno actually. Both of them want to alter reality to their liking, so they might or probably...
Ice King's not evil, by the way. Just thought I'd let you guys know. They kind of tricked us in chapter 1. But yeah, this video is insane. Like, Scion is so good at like solving lore and stuff. That's just fucking insane what he's done there.
gonna work together. Then the Voyager activates 4 devices he put in 4 different realities before the live event started. They all linked onto the 0 point and all of them were brought into the island, forming the new season 3 map. But why did Geno choose these 4 realities to come to us in this season? Well, let's say how everything I've been talking about in this video is gonna come together right here. How chapter 4 was beginning of the loop to restore order. It had a jungle, off-fan reality and a frozen reality. Then we saw a 4th reality, which was chapter 5, the Greek mythology. Then chapter 6, which was the final 5th reality, that was Japanese mythology. And now season 2 had the frozen reality of the Ice King coming in. While this season has the exact same jungle reality, a different part of it coming in, with some of the jungle buildings inside of it or the exact same trees. Something which was actually teased from day 1 of the season. After we got a desert, that yes, chapter 5 reality also had a deserted side, and this is the same reality but the deserted part of it. Again, the exact same buildings or ideas from the same chapter can also be found within this desert. The 3rd reality being a fall biome like Geno's off-found home, and interestingly being the exact place that Geno is doing his work inside of, or even having a mine inside of it identical to the mines within the off-bound. As finally 5th reality, Japanese theme is also here, with many references to it, and even Nitros herself was brought in through this place. And who knows, maybe Geno also wants her to be part of this new Imagine Order that he's creating. But this right here finally confirms my theory that has been going on for what? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years? I'm talking about the 5 realities! Yeah,
oh, here we go. Here we go.
There is pretty much no doubt anymore that the 5 realities theory I've been talking about, the 5 realities that are extremely important to the creation of the Imagine Order, we are watching it all happen again. We had the 3 realities in chapter 4, we had the next one in chapter 5, the next one in chapter 6. Now every single one of them somehow are in chapter 7. I wonder how. We're making a new Imagine Order and now suddenly all of them are here. Almost like 5 realities have been right this whole time, and I kept telling you, but you kept doubting the Professor lore. I'm gonna beat you! So these 5 realities are extremely important to how the Imagine Order became a thing. Basically, the people of them or things inside of these realities are extremely important to Geno, like the Spirit Realm, the Sprites, Nitro, Medallions, Kinetic Ore, and so on. And as I've been saying, everything is looping ever since chapter 4 season 1, so the Imagine Order gets reborn. And that's exactly why all of these 5 realities are in one place now. So Geno is taking whatever he needs from these realities, and after that, the Imagine Order is finally reborn. And maybe through these places on chapter 7, Geno gets to talk to the people he was keeping a watch on. For example, we got the best example of it, Nitros or Valeria Zoo. A watch on. For example,
why is Nitro's got a mask now? Or is that like a 3D render? Because I don't get why she would have like Dago's mask there.
We got the best example of it, Nitros or Valeria, Zeus, Megalodon, Daigo, and so on, to finally create the new inner circle for the Imagine Order. But now it's time, the event has ended and everything went as Geno planned except one final thing to do. During the Zero War comics, the last 2 people who got to see Geno and talk to him were Foundation and John Jones. The loop has been completed again because the only 2 people from the 7 who were alongside Geno in the live event was also Foundation and Jones. The Foundation was dealt with, and now this pistol on the table gets to do its job. To shoot John Jones in a part that doesn't fully kill him, kicking him off the cliff so he stays unconscious for a really long time but not fully kill. Which again shows another example of how Geno could have just completely finished and killed Jones, exactly what he did to the Ice King. But he chose not to, and it makes me go like, oh, I wonder why. My theory has been that he doesn't want any of them to fully die, rather Geno wants these guys to be still on his side when fighting the Nothing. But for that to happen, he needs to humiliate them first, make them feel dumb without him. So season 3 has begun, and these 5 realities are also here, all of them at the same time. Jones is inside of a healing tank, and the Order says she trusts the visitor and they're getting along really well.
Are we friends?
We don't always see eye to eye, but I trust you to have my back, Fizz.
Well, I am happy to have your confidence and your trust. I know you do not give either lightly.
Does you know? She doesn't know! Now within season 3, Dr. Stone arrives after Jones called her for help in the last season, and already Geno has plans to manipulate and bring her back to the IO again. While Hope begins slowly seeing visions again thanks to the sprites, and small clues make her visions more clear. Starting from a pizza box reminding her of Jones, making Hope realize that whoever did this to Jones is behind everything, until she ends up with a device in colors of the Dark Voyager, but interestingly with an Imagine Order logo on it, making it finally clear to Hope how an Imagine Order member is behind all of this, but who? Dr. Stone's singularity, she's not sure yet. That's why she cannot trust anyone anymore, which is a big theme of Fortnite lore from now. Who can you trust? So Hope goes back to her old chapter 5 style of creating underground bases and fighting in secret. Like even the Order points out how Hope has been disappearing a lot recently. But now talking about the singularity, last season Visitor and the Order were listening to the status report of all of the 7 members. First off, we had the Imagined, who was said to be dead, but I still really think that Geno saved her, keeping the Imagined locked up for now. Or maybe he will bring the Imagined back from the dead the exact same way as Midas or the Devourer. Then Origin, who on hearing how he was lost to the Chrome, Geno says this:
I won't watch another world end. We're going to win this.
Another fallen general.
The one he's talking about should be Gunner, his general of the Imagine Order army who was killed by Dr. Doom. Kind of showing us how, yeah, Geno is looking for a new general and it should be Megalodon if I'm right. But also within this season, the Stone of Origin can be found right near the Stone of Visitor, who is now Geno. So the King of the Imagine Order right near the King of the Last Reality, and that to me feels like a teaser, like you put the King of the Imagine Order right near the King of the Last Reality. That has to be a teaser, right? I can't wait to see what exactly this means, especially since the prison that Origin was kept inside of by the Imagine Order seems to have been revealed. Area 07 was where they researched and studied the Origin on, while the prison on Reality 337 is where he was kept inside of. Exactly being why on Origin's prison suit you can read 07, which is the code of this secret facility focused on researching the aliens. There is even a mini cube here and an alien ship, which was probably used by Origin when he quit the Last Reality. While that should also be exactly why within Reality 337 you can see cube energy leaking into the ground of that world, as that place used to be an Imagine Order base and they were mining the cube energy from inside of it. This place should be where the Imagine Order captured the Origin on. Now we get the scientist status report and it being also lost to the Chrome, but this time Amy starts talking instead of the Visitor and the Order.
I'm sorry I didn't find you in time. I'm going to make you proud.
Now here's the thing, Amy in chapter 4 jumped inside of the rift gates that was created by the Order of Geno. She also was inside of the device on the robot's head when doing so, that was made out of the Geno's refined kinetic ore. Now right on his return, Amy was back with him too, sounding all depressed.
Accessing audio log.
I still need to know how aim, like, I don't fucking get that bit.
Timestamp rocket arrival.
The encrypted channel features a single message addressed to a redacted comm. It says, I will not fail you.
As she also came here within the exact same device too. Meaning that once Amy jumped into the gate, not only she found out that the Chrome 7 are already corrupted into Last Reality soldiers, but also that Geno found her and took Amy, meaning that she probably knows who Visitor truly is, but kept it hidden from us all this time, and I wonder why exactly would she do that? I think the answer is really simple. The only thing Amy cares about is protecting the scientist, which is her dad. Without him, she just has no reason to exist, so I believe that Geno told Amy he knows a way to save the Chrome 7. But he is only willing to save the scientist if Amy helps the guy with manipulating and using the 7. And Amy probably being the robot who made this Visitor suit for Geno as well, thanks to her data from the scientist. So for sure keep an eye on her, she's definitely betraying the 7, but for good reasons I would say. Now we get a status report of the true visitor also being lost to the Chrome, and Geno replies with this.
Do you think he suffered?
In our line of work, the best we can hope for is fast and painless.
And yet, dedication such as ours is always paid in agony.
Then we have Paradigm, who sacrificed herself to the Zero Fusion, but it seems like she was actually the one who took over the Infinity Blade through the 0 point in the live event, or telling us to find me. So she might be either one with the 0 point now or kind of connected to it and not fully killed. And now for the most important one. If Geno was watching every single event of the Fortnite history in Chapter 4, Chapter 5 and 6, he would have seen the 7 mech return as well, and he did. Because Amy reveals to Geno how Singularity is on her way to us, probably for fighting the Dark Voyager. And right on hearing this, Geno realizes that so the pilot of the mech was my own traitor Singularity, therefore sending the Dark Voyager to sabotage and destroy the mech before she can fly with it inside of the live event and ruin Geno's plans. But the past story is now over. It's time for Geno's plan for what's happening within this very season right now. First off, the most important thing is how the same sprites Geno was watching Daigo mess with them are here now, and Geno has really big plans for them. For now, only one of the plans is revealed to be the fact that these sprites are made out of the pure energy of the 0 point, explaining how Daigo could channel darkness through them, since again 0 point is a balance of darkness and light. So Geno tells us how these sprites need to be collected and used for healing the 0 points to fix up all of the cracks between it and make it one again, hinting at how the sprites might also die while doing this.
You and I are going to be learning how to do a sort of sprite reduction without harming the little beasts.
Sprites are defo dead. Just letting you know.
Of course.
But there is no other choice. We have to do this, because if we don't, all of existence will be destroyed and the world will end. An excuse that Geno used to tell the IO members all the time.
All of reality ends if we fail.
Ah yes, that old chestnut. Too bad that it's true every time.
Now he's also working on 2 projects for the same idea. One of them being this device here that looks like something to push back 0 point's energy into itself for healing it. Then the other one is this big platform under construction on this cliff pointed right towards the 0 point. As there was just a new update which had a new piece of this build, revealing how Dr. Stone is leading the work on 3rd version of a Doomsday device, or called.
By the way, Sloan is not the leader of the new 7. Stop fucking saying that.
Lie there.
You're on comms with the 0 point stabilization team. I'll focus on the overall construction of the stabilizer itself. Singularity, you're on making an autonomous AI software to run the machine.
How does this compare to your previous Collider project, Dr. Sloan?
It's a lot of the same theory, but in reverse. The Collider would have destroyed an island. This will save one.
But every Doomsday device needs the 0 point energy to function. That's exactly where these sprites come into play. We will channel the 0 point energy through them. But it's not enough, because an AI assistant is also needed to manage the stabilizer for working properly. Geno as visitor says,
why not employ the 7 Zone Amy to run the stabilizer?
I wouldn't trust Amy to make me a coffee.
Geno, saying why are you not using Amy? The same guy that Amy came into us with, and the same guy that made the portal and Amy jumped inside of the... Amy. What are you doing, Amy? So while Dr. Stone is busy with building the actual thing, Singularity is chosen to make the new AI. But instead of making it from scratch, Singularity learns of how an advanced AI is running inside of the shape. That's why we're tasked to help her with compressing and downloading the shape's AI into a hard drive, stealing it. Then making a new one inside of the sanctuary, upgraded to be even more advanced for the job. As once the stabilizer plan is in action, we hear some super interesting talks between Dr. Stone and Singularity or Geno.
You got something you want to say?
I was unsure about inviting a member of the Imagined Order to assist us.
Stop picking fights, visitor.
It's a valid query.
You gonna stick around this time? Might think so. The 7 may also have a stubborn, dangerous leader, but they trust their people. We did it.
And we couldn't have done it without our fearless leader.
Visitor?
I mean it genuinely. You've always had greatness in you, Dr. Sloan.
Do you see how harsh and aggressive the relationship between Geno and the Singularity is? But on Dr. Stone's side, my man is just simping on her. Like when Geno is talking to Dr. Stone, he goes like, Queen, mother effer, you're so smart. He goes, oh, Queen, Dr. Stone, take my money. It's all yours. That's because as we see, Singularity talks like she He hates both Dio and Geno now, preferring to stay with the 7 from here on, saving reality as one of the 7, saying how it's because they at least trust each other even if the Foundation is just as stubborn and dangerous as Geno. Sounds like even more proof to me that these two used to be really close to each other. But Dr. Stone, not really. She never confirmed that she wants to stay with the 7, even if she's from now wearing the iconic mask of the 7. Nor do we get to watch her roast Dio or Geno like the Singularity did. And it's all because Geno knows he can get Dr. Stone to join back with Dio when the time comes. That's why he's doing all of the simping to get back her heart. Don't trust me? Listen to this.
It's a new experience to work under Dr. Sloan. She's brilliant, calculating, and unstoppable mind. While our priorities align, there is no better ally. But when that alignment ends, well, her only true loyalty is to her ideals.
Dr. Stone is a person with no loyalty, nor she will ever be bound to one faction. She will only join your side if it benefits what she is after in that moment. That's why every time we get a new Dr. Stone skin, she is part of a new faction. First time it was the Imagine Order, then the Explorers, and now we have her 7 form. Geno knows this and he's really confident that when the time comes, Dr. Stone will join the new Imagine Order, betraying the 7. But the same thing cannot be said for Singularity, as at the same time Geno has the Dark Voyager searching and capturing sprites there, even holding the Sprite King itself in prison, while also buying sprites from Cluster 2, who's also going out there getting all of the sprites to sell them. They're living creatures, you're capturing them.
Hashtag sprite cruelty.
And selling them. Something is not right here. So it really makes me think that he has secret plans for the Collider
3.0 actually.
because what exactly are you also sending the Voyager to steal the sprites to? But in secret, Geno is up to something much more sus. He's feeding 0-point energy into different plants, especially a tree, making it change and look similar to the reality tree itself. And that's not even the worst part. The main 7 base of Geno at his own reality biome, there is a huge tree bigger than all of the other ones. While there is a secret basement here with a triangle on it like many of the other triangles you can see on the design of Geno. Underneath it, you get to see how Geno is doing experiments and figuring out how to make a new version of the reality trees, explaining why the water near the big tree looks magical or why blue lights show up around it. Geno has learned how to turn this into a new evolved form of the reality tree. As for why he is doing this, does he not remember what happened the last time we got a reality tree? Well, who knows, maybe he wants to bring in his own chromium, since in the last time it helped a lot by healing the 0 point. Or it could also be to access the corrupted 7, since he might have promised Amy to save the scientist. It could also be Geno bringing in things or people from the other realities that again he wants them to be part of the new Imagine Order. But what we know is that the priority of Geno is to heal and fix up the 0 point fully so we can finish restoring the Imagine Order, using the villains I talked about for a new inner circle, and maybe also using the Fire King, stealing Ice King's collections finally, humiliating the Foundation even more, as then going to the Reality Zero in the end, which I believe is under Ageless and his version of the government, to steal the show, throwing the Ageless away and finishing Phase 2, aka a world of perfect order. Part of that being killing the Dark Voyager and a full-on war against the Nothing and the last reality. But the key to all of this was inside of the Dark Voyager's ship all along, a theory that I was not willing to talk about it until the ending of this video, because it's the biggest and it's the coolest theory of the entire video. That cube you see right there, the orange energy that Dark Voyager is using to function, it's all much more important than you ever thought. There are 2 versions of the cubes that the last reality uses. One of them is the purple cubes who spread darkness and corruption. Then we got the golden ones that are called the royal cubes. These are only for the leaders of the last reality, like the Cube Queen. But Dr. Stone figured out a way to kill the energy inside of the cubes and replace it with something else. That's giving birth to the blue light cubes, a protector and a healing cube instead of a destroyer. Geno learned from this and made his own version of the cubes, those being the red ones fully under his control. So if Geno learned how to make his own version of the cubes, what exactly would he go to make another one? What is this orange one? Well, for one, it's because Geno believes that order is reached through chaos, meaning that this cube right here is the key to reaching Imagine Order. And exactly, do you remember a so-called Pandora's box in chapter 5, how it had an energy inside of it identical to this cube's color? colors. Even if you use Pandora's box emote on the Dark Voyager, yes, the colors of the box energy are identical to the Dark Voyager. While also it was revealed by Hope and Jones how Pandora's box is part of something much bigger, they need to hunt it down.
Hey, Valeria. With all of your connections, you probably know this already, but Pandora's box is a part of something bigger.
And how Pandora's box was also connected to the 0-point shard. But boy, do you see where I'm going with this? The same energy which was left abandoned in a random reality with Dr. Doom, the same guy that Geno invited into the inner circle, but he betrayed Geno and stole Ice King's collection still. Well, it really seems like Geno had a talk with this guy, beat him up, smack him, then took the Pandora's box energy, putting it inside of the cube, something which was needed to restore the 0-point and the order. Because Hope herself said that Pandora's energy was part of something bigger, part of the 0-point shards itself. What did Dark Voyager do within Chapter 7's live event? He used the energy of his own ship to charge up the 0-point shards. As John Jones within Chapter 7 Season 2 said that it's impossible for the Dark Voyager to charge up and awaken the 0-point.
It looks like the Dark Voyager is still trying to fuse those 0-point shards.
Yeah, well, good luck. Any idea how much power something like that would take?
And that guy knows about so much. How many languages does that guy he can talk? He knows a lot. But he didn't expect this to happen, which means the cube Dark Voyager has is extremely important. Because Dark Voyager's ship all alone managed to actually do it and prove John Jones wrong. So yeah, Geno has been watching everything, he has been behind everything. Pandora's box was part of his plan and the energy ended up inside of this cube. Because even if you think about it, the cubes are always made after a rift is formed, even the red cube. And when we were sending the Pandora's box energy away, it was going inside of a rift. So this energy of the Pandora's box is needed to cause chaos, so through it we reach a world of perfect order. And it's also needed to make the 0-point one again. Even bright orange itself is the opposite of blue in the color spectrum, which makes total sense since the 0-point is the balance of everything and nothing, so darkness and light. So we are feeding half of the 0-point back into itself through the Dark Voyager cube, while the other light half will be fed into it through the sprites and through this collider. Even if you go back to the collider from Chapter 3 Season 2, that thing was connected and harnessing the energy of the 0-point to destroy and kill everything on the island. Wow, would you look at that, the destroyer energy of the 0-point was also colored orange in the very season. Almost like the answer was right in front of our eyes this whole time. So let's hear the truth from Geno's own mouth.
It's been a long time since I've been so hands-on. I've become more of a vision holder, a pioneer among realities for many years. When I was young, I built my dreams with my bare hands. It is good to make something again.
When he was younger or known as the Ageless, he had a dream which he brought to life with his bare hands. That's being the greatest empire of all time, the Oath found. Then he found the 0-point and became more of a vision holder for all of reality. That's lasting from Chapter 1 on to 8 years later, which is Chapter 6 ending, as the learning phase of how to create the world of perfect order has ended. It's time to get hands-on once again, just like the Ageless era, to build a new empire going across all universes. That's being exactly what this phase 2 of the plan is, so causing chaos to reach order through it. Just like how Tilted Towers blew up and we got Neo Tilted from its ashes.
When I was young, I built my dreams with my bare hands. He always said he imagined a world of perfect order. There is no room in a world like that for the likes of us.
It's always been Geno.
Bad ideas don't improve themselves by propagating. Your hubris and impatience are endangering the mission. Like your sister. Did you learn nothing from losing her? It's been a long time since I've been so hands-on.
originate from different realities. The seven stand together.
Geno! It's been here all along?
Singularity, you arrived safely after all. I am happy to have your confidence and your trust.
My boys, it's finally over! It was actually such a torture to make this video. I think it took me 1 month or something. So please, I beg you, like the video, maybe subscribe to the channel or share this video with your friends or other content creators because I put so much effort into make this video. It would mean a lot to me if this video actually does well because this video, it was like
Fucking hell. That's Cyan. Just fucking hell, that was so. I'm gobsmacked. I'm actually gobsmacked. Thank you so much for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure I will put a link to this video because this video should have so much support. Thank you guys so much. That was insane. I'm gobsmacked.